started.
Moet Chandon again. Okay, let's see. So he's the one who plays the From Gambit, but I mean, he plays f4 and I play the From Gambit, but this might be the first time I played him as black. Moet Chandon from Argentina. Okay, so Sicilian. The e6 Sicilian. Could be the Kahn or the Paulson variation or something else. This is something else. I forget which is which, but the other moves are a6 or knight c6 for the Kahn or the Paulson. But b6, I have no idea. So if I take, maybe I should just support my pawn. I don't really know what to do there. Okay, so he can attack my e-pawn. I guess that's part of the idea here. Let's go ahead and castle. Okay, I guess I want to develop my bishop first. I'm going to put my knight on d2, I guess. Oh, it's possible the knight could go to a3 to c4. Then both knights would be hitting this. I can get there from d2 too, as long as my bishops are not in danger. It's not normally there's a knight. You have to worry about a knight coming into g4, but he's done this knight maneuver, so the knight is on g6, and it can go to f4 or h4, but not g4. Okay, so everything is just a little bit different. So do I want to play knight c4? I would probably just play d6. How about if I play bishop to b5? That pins this pawn. Oh, he just kicks it. Okay. Let's retreat the bishop and see if he plays b5. It leaves this pawn maybe a little loose. So maybe that did something, maybe not. I can't tell. It's not really loose. I take, he takes. And his bishop is supported by the queen. Or he could play that. Yep. Okay, so maybe queen here. Get my queen off the back rank so I can develop my rooks. Yeah, I can put his knight there. I don't want to retreat my queen, so I'm going to exchange. Now this is defended. Rook d1 here. I'm thinking about playing the move d5. Doesn't work here. So maybe I should play e5 and knight e4 instead. Yeah, it certainly makes makes it tempting to play e5. You can take here, it's defended with a knight. And bishop and the queen are defending my knight here. I'm not really threatening. Am I knight f6 check? Knight f6 check, pawn takes. Is there any real follow-up there? Okay, this is kind of a weakening move, but it gets his queen out of this diagonal, off of this diagonal. And And I can play knight to d6. Just goes there. I need to get rid of that bishop because this my diagonal here is just too weak. Can't leave that. That bishop cannot live. Can't afford to leave that on the board. Yeah. Gotta take it anyway. This was probably a good move, this f5. He can play f4 and try and soften up my king side here and get another attacker on this wayward knight. And in other circumstances, I might have taken en passant, but my knight was hanging there. Okay, so what can I do here? Maybe, okay, if I play h4 and he plays g5, knight takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes. Looks a bit dangerous. Okay, so maybe king g2 and h3 and then knight, some knight maneuver. Pretty tricky situation. I think one thing that's helping me out is he hasn't developed his queen side here. So his knight and his rook are still at home over here. But this knight is actually becoming maybe somewhat of a liability. It's got has no squares to go to safely. So it can be exchanged off at any time, and it has nowhere to go from there. So maybe I should just consider sacrificing it. Okay, but let's... Let's move the knight. Okay, knight here allows the move h3, or maybe a move like f3 or f4 too. Should be considered. I need to grab some squares here because otherwise his queen can get to this square. It's currently guarded by the knight, but if he has control of all these squares, he can line up slowly with his rook and his queen and get to this square, which would be bad for me.
Check.
So I need to grab a few squares over here. Now he has the dark squared bishop. Yeah, it's a pretty good piece here. But h3 would take away some space. Maybe even, yeah, so he's trying to get this piece into the game. It's interesting he didn't want to move the knight. Maybe the knight has nowhere to go. All dressed up with nowhere to go. How about if we try and... Well, I could consider exchanging queens, but maybe knight to f4 is an idea. Just try and control a few more squares over here. It's nice, this knight controls this square. Pawn controls this square. The rook is coming over, that's his plan. I can play rook h1 and maybe advance the h-pawn here. Keeping in mind the g-pawn is pinned. Okay, so h4, bishop takes, rook takes. might still be okay. As this is not hanging, unfortunately. So the knight still has no moves. Knight sack here is an idea. Knight takes, but he could take with the rook even. He doesn't have to take with the pawn. Knight takes here, queen takes, knight takes here. Not looking too good. Okay. We're going to try h4. Oh, that was dumb. This pawn is pinned, and so I can't take with the rook. The queen will just take it. Yeah, that was my good night too. That's a shame. Okay, so let's see. Maybe the bishop is trapped or something. It actually has no squares, but he can take here, take. Take. So he's won a pawn, I guess. He could take either one of these pawns with the bishop, or he could retreat to here. Anywhere else? Oh, he could retreat to here. And I could chase it with my rook. I think it's going down. I think the bishop cannot escape. Interesting. Yeah, he has only moved, but unless there's another trick up his sleeve here, I don't think there's any other squares. No other squares for that bishop to go to. Queen could take here. Bishop could take there. Let's see. Does it matter how I take? Probably with the pawn. He can still grab this here. But he didn't. Okay, but he's going there with the rook. Let's see. So I could consider moving somewhere with the king. I could consider this knight sack too. Knight takes. Pawn takes. Rook takes, queen takes. And well, I've got a couple pawns, and he can still grab over here. Okay, so let's just unpin and think about sacks later. Breakthrough. So if rook takes, yeah, this is going to be ugly. Let's see. Because after he takes this pawn here with check, it's going to be just losing this pawn over here, and that comes in with a check. So I want to keep this rook, so I got to take this way, and then if he takes with check, Ah, it still doesn't work. Well, if the queen comes over, I can interpose with the rook. If the rook comes over, what can I do?
Time warning.
Okay, this pens this rook at least. Queen takes rook here check is probably pretty good for black too. Queen here check, what do I do? I have to interpose, I have no moves with my king, right? Ah, but I did have the possibility of taking with the queen because of the pen. So, interesting.
Check.
So if I take here, he takes with check. It'd be nice if I got to move quickly, I guess.
Check.
It'd be nice if I could avoid losing my queen. I have a knight here in a good spot.
Check.
And
check.
Yeah. If I could avoid trading queens, I might be able to do something with that knight. But now, okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just a pawn advantage after all that. That's kind of amazing. And a big clock advantage. His knight still, okay, his knight is going to get in the game. I'm going to come over here and try and create an outside passer, but and keep his knight tied down. And he's going to try and create a breakthrough. Let's see. That's not going to work, is it? Okay, I could go check here.
Check.
And back. If he pushes forward to a4, I think I can play a3. Maybe not. If he pushes with b4, I can take on c4. Then he can take here on c3. So maybe, yeah, let's see if he just
check.
wants a draw. I'll take a draw here. Being low on the clock and
check. Game drawn.
okay, well, that was an interesting game. I was lucky to escape that one alive, I think. So I'll do a postmortem and see how it turns out. The other thing I wanted to add was I'm going to be away from my computer for about maybe 2 weeks. I'm not sure exactly how long, so there won't be any new videos for a while, but I do plan after those 2 weeks to come back and do some more videos. So anyway, you're going to have to content yourself with the existing videos on the website, so, or on the on this channel. So enjoy them, and see you guys later. Bye.